Well, hello there, and welcome back for the second part of my 8-8 conversation with my astrologer friend Corey. In this part, I will go into channeling, and Corey has asked my guides some beautiful questions about this potent 8-8 reinvention portal, as my guides called it. We also spoke about the upcoming eclipses, so you don't want to miss this. Thank you so much for being here and enjoy. Corey, shall I move into some channeling? What do you think?
I think that is perfect moment and I can't wait because this is my favorite part. And I'm sure that is gonna be your favorite part to everyone watching.
Well, maybe I should give a little bit of a backstory for those who are not familiar with me because I didn't mention it at the introduction. But I call it a change channel. My way of channeling has everything to do with change. So, with helping the collective reinvent themselves and helping individuals reinvent themselves. So, I usually, or often, I should say, I channel through crystals, but I also was learned a technique or taught a technique to channel via the energy of the rose. And that's what I'm going to use today because the rose is very much connected to the energy of Leo, the energy of the heart. Okay, because Leo is always seen as those who have a big heart, who have a brave heart, who have a true heart. And so I thought it would be wonderful to channel through this beautiful rose today. And just so you know, I don't completely disappear when I channel. My consciousness takes a little bit of a back seat, but it's always a uh, intermingling, a combination of my interpretation of what my guides are sharing with me. So today I'm going to ask my beautiful co-host Corey if he would ask some questions. That always works the best for me if I can go into the channeling with a question. And I'm also going to ask Corey if you would be so kind to check the time because as you know, once I go in channeling, I'm in no one's land or better said everyone's land. So
Yeah, in bliss though.
I'm in bliss time when I'm there in bliss time. So but because we also have human time, I'm going to ask you to keep the time frame in mind
Yeah.
for us. Okay? Very good. So give me a moment to settle in and also take your time, maybe a few deep breaths to your heart and allow for all the information you just heard to just settle in your heart and not your head. And now give me a moment to make the connection. We're here. We were here. We will always be here. And we are definitely here. Now, we've been loving this conversation. It has felt electric to us. And we are so happy that Danielle and Corey are taking the time to do this. So we are eager to dive deeper into uh, anything that has to do with this subject. And Corey, please feel free to ask your first question.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you for being here. And
Always, literally always.
thank you. Well, why not starting with the big question, right? No, in serious way, but pun intended, obviously. Um, what do you think is the deeper purpose of the Sirius Gateway, meaning obviously 8-8 portal for humanity this year? What do you think is that deeper purpose?
The deeper purpose is really what you've already been talking about. It is basically forcefully um, making sure that every human being's electric wiring is being upgraded
Mm.
because the energy that is coming from Sirius is so strong. Many of you will have also already felt the change of the power of your sun. This particular summer, the energy of the sun has, as you humans say, it has been off the chart, right? It has been
Mm-hmm.
off the chart. And it is because it is not just about um, solar energy. It's not just about, let's say, heat. It's about information. It's about more information that is being downloaded to the earth. And the 8-8 portal, what happens with the 8-8 portal is that Sirius and the dual star system of Sirius, that they align with certain stars of Orion's belt, with the sun and the earth. They are in one line, which means that let's put it like this way, the energy cable from Sirius to the earth is at its strongest then. It's at its most potent. It's the most open. So this year, with also the sun, also Jupiter being in the sign of Leo as all of this is happening, and Jupiter amplifies everything that it comes into contact with, the energy download is just more, even more. And the reason for that is really to upgrade the wiring system of the humans, because other types of information, also other type of galactic information is coming online big time. It has always been here, but now you humans, you are going to a next level in your evolution, so you will be able to um, communicate with different type of galactic intelligence that you are now becoming more and more aware of.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you. And then thank you for sharing that. And then to, as a link to what you shared, let's say on a more practical level, what does the person standing between an old life and a new identity must need to hear now? What would you say to that person with obviously with all these energies?
Yes. Well, this is what we would like to say to you, and we have said this through Danielle often. The most important question to ask yourself at any time, but specifically at a time of reinventing yourself, is who am I? Who am I? And what is happening right now, collectively, all of the changes that you are going through is that you are realizing that the answer to that is beyond any human identity or role that you can give yourself. If we are being blunt, the answer to that is you are God. You are light. You are a fractal. You are a part of God. And we know that some people, some more religious people, get offended by that. But please don't be offended, because you are a reflection. You are a part of God. You are a part of that which is eternal, which is everything, which is the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. You are so grand that it actually goes beyond any identity that you could give yourself as a human.
Mm.
But when you are standing in between identities, the most important question to ask yourself is, who am I? Who am I?
Mm.
And when you are able to answer that question for yourself, when you are at a level where you are able to understand, well, in essence, I am God, that changes the game. Because that means that any expression that you give to a quote unquote new identity in this life will have to be a reflection of God. So that means that you will go beyond the ego wishes. You will go beyond, oh, I just want to be comfortable, or for some it might have been, oh, I just want to be famous or seen, or even for some it might have been, I want to help everyone. I want to be everywhere. Infusing your new identity with the energy of knowing that you are God, you are source, whatever you will be expressing as a human being, whether it be like Corey, who is a fashion designer and a amazing astrologer, or it be Danielle, who works with reinvention, the color of what you're doing is going to change. It is going to become more radiant. Not because of the fact that the new human identity that you have taken is now so amazing, but because of the fact that you have remembered who or what you actually are. And that will amplify your light. And so anything that you choose to do that is in alignment with your identity as a god will expand and become more radiant as well.
Wow. Talk about electricity here.
Danielle's also getting very hot.
Yeah, and maybe there might need to be just a 30-second pause for what you have transmitted, because I think it is perhaps the main message, right, that has to be remembered. Remember that we are spark of the universe, the divine God, name it. Then our essence is that. Our essence is of the divine, and whatever originates from it, whatever, as you said, color it takes, will radiate in a much powerful, if I may draw a parallel with obviously Jupiter and Sirius A.
Yes, and sorry, Corey, that we interrupt one moment, but do not forget that the sign of Leo stands for authenticity.
Mhm.
It stands for being true to your true self, to your true nature. And so use this Lionsgate also to become really authentic with yourself about who you actually are. Go ahead.
To follow on that, then, um, obviously, because you mentioned to the people watching about the rose and the rose frequency. So, what does the rose frequency wish to restore within us with this AA portal?
What many forget when they look at a rose, especially, you nowadays have cultivated roses, and
Mm.
people will just look at the beauty of the rose. But original roses that were not tinkered with have thorns. So, what the rose wants you to understand is that there is no beauty without thorns.
Mm.
There is no beauty without pain. There is no serious A without serious B.
Amen.
And you humans, you are moving as your capacity for receiving more information expands. You humans are moving beyond duality in the sense that you will start to understand what it truly means when people say everything is all one. For now, most people, even many, no, let's put it differently, even some spiritual leaders, they have just used that as a catchphrase. Like, we're
Mm.
all one, you're all the same, blah, blah, blah. We want to say blah, 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 blah. You are moving beyond that into embodiment of that. And the rose is a wonderful example of that because we want to say she is a complete being. She's a whole being, right? So it's not just the beauty of the bloom. No, it's the thorns, it's the roots, it's the leaves, it's the connection she has to the sun to grow, it's the connection she has to the water. The rose can teach you that in order to bloom, you need to work with all of the elements that are available to you. And all of them are necessary and important. You cannot ignore the thorns. You cannot ignore the roots. You cannot ignore the soil. You need all of them in order to know, to embody what it means to be whole. So we want to say to all of you, the rose really wants to say to all of you, start becoming whole within yourself. Start getting to grips with the thorns within yourself, with the shadow sides, with the things you don't like about yourself, the things you don't like about your life. Start to see them as a whole. And begin there, and that will ripple out to the collective.
Mm. Yeah, let's start with the thorns. Thank you for that. I do have a last question, but I do believe you have obviously touched upon it, but maybe there's a bit more to be said about that. You talked about obviously the authenticity that comes with courage. Let's not forget that courage stems from the Latin and the French, meaning cœur, the heart. So it can't be more literal than that. Um, so you talked about wholeness and becoming one with our first with our wounds, if I may say. what it is that that humanity is being asked to release because it is not truly of the heart. And this is a question that mirrors what you need to be focusing on internally. So, what is being asked to be released that is not of the heart?
What is being asked to release is the false illusions of what humanity has been fed
Mm.
of who they are. So from the age of Pisces that you now came out of, right? In the age of Pisces, there was much focus on hierarchy and letting others who were quote unquote above you or who had a closer connection to God, to let those people tell you who you are.
If I may, sorry, if I may interrupt, you mean the age of Capricorn? When Pluto was in Capricorn?
We understand what you mean, but we are not, and that is true, and that has to do more with the structures and the hierarchy, but we
Mm.
are speaking now about Pisces when it comes more to your spiritual life,
Mm.
where there was a bigger focus on placing spirituality outside of yourself.
Mm.
Yes, looking for spiritual answers also outside of yourself. And so we and again, we do not mean to offend, but this is also connected with the church, institutionalized religion, where institutionalized religion would tell the collective and would tell you who you are. But most of that was not true. And so now when you are coming into the realization that what you really are is God, that you don't you don't need a middleman or woman to actually reach God, for you are it. Now you can find the answers about who you truly are. You can find them directly from source. And so letting go of the lies that were told to you, and many of those lies were told to you just to keep humanity in check, just so that you could be, in some ways, and sometimes in quite literal ways, be used as a slave to the system, a slave to the workforce, a slave to the family, a slave to marriage, sometimes even. So that needs to be let go of. The things that were told to you about your true identity, which are not true. None of you, none of you, none of you were born in sin. If anything, you were created from pure love. And we would like you to sit with that just for a brief moment. Just that sentence. You were not born from sin. You were created from love. How would your life change tomorrow, today, if you believed that to be true? It would completely change. Nothing would be the same anymore.
what you said is as deep and as profound and emotionally true as it can be. Thank you very much.
You all are very welcome. Danielle is just checking if everything was said and done what was necessary for today. We want to leave you with this. A portal, any portal, is just a doorway. And nothing happens until you step over the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we've been talking about today, the energies can be as strong as they want to be. They can be as strong as they are. The portal can be as white and as vibrant as it is. You live on a planet of free will. If you do not choose from free will to step over that threshold, nothing will change. You will have to make a conscious decision. Now, things are moving and speeding up in such a way that there will come a point where we don't really want to say where you won't have a choice, because you always, in essence, have a choice, but it will then be more that you will be fighting, what is happening collectively. At some point, humanity is going to reach a tipping point, and you're getting closer and closer to that. And with that tipping point, we mean that more and more of you will have more and more energy running through you. That is basically what you call an awakening. An awakening is basically just that you awaken to higher levels of information, to higher levels of light. That you open up to higher levels of that. That is basically, in essence, how we would simplify the term awakening. Humanity will reach a tipping point where a certain critical mass of humanity will have opened itself up enough to receive more information that they will take the collective with them on this wave. But everyone still has the choice to live in their own reality. So we are not saying this as a way for you to feel like you will be left behind. We don't mean it that way, but you will always live in your own reality. So our invitation for you today is, how brave are you willing to be? How much are you willing to operate from your heart? Let your heart lead you. And we know that you will be brave enough to step over that threshold and into that portal. And when you do, we can tell you this. For a period, it will be hard going. It will be disorienting because the frequency in that portal is so high. Anything that is not of that frequency will have to bounce off of you, and it will feel electrifying. It will feel like you put your finger in a socket. But that's okay. That is part of the evolution. Like Corey said, make sure that you ground yourself, that you come back to the body. You don't want to ignore the body either, because it is the vehicle that is carrying part of your soul in this incarnation. But don't worry about the things that will then all fall apart in your life, the things that will disappear, the things that will make no sense, the things that will make your human cry. Because as you move further through that portal, and believe us, you will get sucked in. You will come out somewhere else, literally, quite literally, in a different dimension. A dimension of heart, a dimension of peace, a dimension of authenticity, and a dimension of oneness. With great love in our metaphorical hearts, we send you off for today. And thank you for this beautiful time we have spent together. As always, stay blessed, dear ones. Coucou.
Cuckoo. That was that was indeed very powerful. If I may, before I forget, there's something you said that is so important. There's so many things you have said that are as equally important, but one thing that really resonated is that it can be a wide open portal. It can be, even my cat is feeling electric, and my dog. It can be as electric as one can be if you don't have the courage, and this is not to shame, obviously, yeah? If you don't have the courage to walk through it just as much as knowing the patterns that are shown in a chart, it can be as enlightening as it can be, but an activation portal becomes an identity shift, as you rightfully communicated and shared with us all, only when it reaches your calendar, your relationships, your boundaries settings, and your daily choices. I love what you said on a very practical note that we we have been enslaved as to believing in any kind of communities, because communities up until now meant to disappear, to make our individual essence and therefore identity disappear, so the community and therefore the leaders could have us shackled, whether it's religion, whether it's spirituality as well, any kind of community. And right now, the ignition point that we are in right now, the moment we recognize that the answers aren't going to come from the outside, that we are all plugged in to source and to the divine, the more the hierarchy and all the illusions are going to crumble on the collective level, not because it comes from the collective, but because it comes from the ignition and the choices we are making individually right now.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of what you have shared. But I have to recognize and to say to you, and for everyone watching you, you have gone through so many portals of reinvention. You have gone through what one could say the hardest of initiations in a human life. Your oversoul has chosen such a hard life and reincarnation, and you're still able, you are still choosing the heart, you're still choosing the authenticity, you're still choosing to say things that might upset others but are of the heart. You are still showing up daily, regardless of what might be happening. And you are an example, as opposed to a guru. You know, we have seen a lot of guru in the spiritual world falling, and many more will be falling because of what they were doing. But you're not placing yourself like that. You are as the Aquarius age. You are placing yourself as, this is what I have lived and I am here to share. And you're an example of living from the heart and of the heart.
Thank you so much for
I
saying
wanted
that.
really to say that.
Let me put it this way, because you're speaking about my soul choosing a hard life, which it did. Um, but I think of what was said in the channel about the thorns. And by embracing, doing my best to embrace all of that, what I actually think is that it is making my channel sharper. It is making my channel more direct and as authentic as it can be in any stage of my own development as well.
Mhm. Yeah, you are the wholeness of the rose. You're not afraid of the thorns because you know that eventually they are the catalyst, the fuel
Yeah,
for reinvention and identity shifts,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Well, Corey, I we of course we could talk for
I know.
decennia, for ages, but we have to consider the human time. I think this was a remarkable and beautiful conversation. I want to thank you for doing this with me again.
Where can people find you? On which social media are you?
Yes,
And maybe that's a beautiful way to close this conversation.
absolutely. Thank you for that. So you can find me on my website, which is daniellevandenstoom.nl, but it will also be written in the notes below. You can find me on Instagram, which is Danielle Fede Stoom. You can find me on Substack as the Changed Woman Circle. Yeah. And Corey, where can people find you?
Oh, thank you, thank you. You can find me on Instagram as Charted by Corentin, also on Substack as as,
Corentin.
as Corentin, thank you,
Yes.
and on YouTube as Charted by Corentin. We're here to support. We're here to help and guide you with your identity shifts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have created this beautiful service together, which is called the Identity Shift Session. And it's 90 minutes with Corey, where he dives into your identity astrology chart. And in it, he will look at your soul wounds from paternal and maternal line. He will look at the old identity that wants to be released and the new identity that you're moving into. And afterwards, not right after, otherwise it would be way too much information for you, but maybe a week after or so, you will have a chart channeling with me where I literally in channeling, I dive into your birth chart. So just see it as like we will be flowing between your planets and stars, and we will just ask information about your reinvention and anything that is relevant
Mm.
on that topic. If you're interested, you will also find the link to join that. And we will have a special offer for the Lionsgate portal with a lovely discount for you. We really want to thank you, and we will be back next time. See you for another one of these amazing conversations. Corey, thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you to everyone, and we shall see each other very soon. Thank you.
There you have it, my friends. There you have it. We spilled the tea, both Corey and myself and my guides, on this potent 8-8 Lionsgate portal. And it is our deep intention that you really use this information in a practical way to make the most out of this transformational time that we are in. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you enjoyed the chemistry between me and Corey, if you enjoyed my guides, please subscribe to Corey's channel, subscribe to my channel. Corey and I will be doing more of these conversations because we enjoyed it so very much. We would like to hear from you in the comments below what the new identity is that you will be claiming at this 8/8 portal. And we are looking forward to manifesting that with you in the year ahead of us. Thank you again for watching and see you next time. Bye.